Hello and welcome to our Carthage presentation. I was about to say welcome to Carthage, but I'm going to welcome you to my home right now since we cannot be on campus today. But my name is Greg Huss. I am one of the directors of admission and financial aid, and I'm joined by Dr. David Brown-Holland in the chemistry department and also the PreHealth chair. We wish we could have you all on campus today to tour the campus and show the campus off. It's a beautiful day on the shore of Lake Michigan. And hopefully you'll be able to visit at some point soon when it's safe to do so. We're going to get started today, and Dr. Brown-Holland has got a great presentation lined up for everybody. I do want to encourage you, as questions arise through his presentation, we do have the question and answer feature open and available, as well as the chat line. So feel free to just type your questions in there. At the end of the presentation, I will come back on and we'll put the questions to Dr. Brown-Holland and he'll be happy to answer them. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over and introduce Dr. Brown-Holland.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. So as was mentioned, my name is David Brown-Holland. I'm a professor in the chemistry department. I teach primarily organic chemistry, and I'm also the chair of the PreHealth Advisory Committee. So let me start off with something that you're here, so I probably don't have to talk too much about this, but why a career in the health profession? So, well, I think if you're a student that is interested in science and service and health, a career in the health professions can be a great opportunity for you. It's a diverse, it's ever-changing, a very challenging field. You're going to have to constantly be learning new things as a profession in here. And in terms of jobs, it's one of the most secure sectors that you can go into. Effectively, every type of profession is expected to grow over the next decade in this field, as well as the salaries. Compensation for all these positions are all relatively quite high. And so there's lots of job opportunities in these fields, lots of good compensation. It's a good career. It's a good field to go into. But let's talk about why Carthage is a place to pursue your healthcare goals. I think one of the most important factors that Carthage can offer a pre-health student, so what it can offer you as a pre-health student, is access to us as faculty. You are going to know us very, very well, and we're going to know you very, very well because we don't have a large number of students, right? We're a small liberal arts college. The student to faculty ratio is very small. The number of advisees that faculty have is very small. And so we have the opportunity to really get to know you. And that's going to provide advantages on a number of levels. To start off with, as a pre-health student, this is a very ambitious goal. You're going to have to take a number of very, very challenging courses, and you're going to be expected to perform very well in these courses in order to succeed and get into graduate school. The rigor of our courses is pretty comparable to the rigor at other colleges, but what you're going to get at Carthage is significantly more support in learning this material than at many other colleges. My door is open. I've got students coming in all day long asking me questions, and I enjoy that. I really enjoy spending the time with the students and having them come in, ask questions, getting to talk to them, getting to know them. It's really one of the most fun parts of my job. I actually tell students in my class that, I'm just like you. I procrastinate with all sorts of things that I don't want to be doing. And when you walk by my office and you see me busy, chances are I don't want to be doing what I'm doing. I would rather talk with you. So help me procrastinate, come into my office, ask me some questions. It'll make my day. It makes me happy. So you have faculty that are very open to that and wanting to build these relationships with you and wanting to help you succeed in these courses. You're also going to get much more meaningful and personalized advising. A lot of larger colleges have this cookie cutter mentality that they have this basic set of advice that they're just going to give to every student that walks in their door. I don't believe that, especially in the pre-health side of things. Every student's different. Their story is different, their strengths and weaknesses are different, their experiences are different. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to get to know you, I'm going to listen to your story, I'm going to listen to your priorities, your goals, what's important to you, and we're going to devise a plan that makes the most sense for you. It's not going to be a cookie cutter approach. It's going to be something designed explicitly for you and your success. So that's something you're going to get at Carthage. A smaller feature, but it's something, I went to a big state school, a University of California system. Not always easy to get the courses that you need to graduate in 4 years. That's really not an issue here at Carthage. Students get into their classes. It's not, sometimes it's difficult to figure it out, but I'll tell you, we figure it out. We make sure that you get into your courses, especially for students who are pre-health, because we know not getting into, say, general chemistry can put you back an entire year. So we make sure that you're getting into the courses that you need to be successful. Something that I think really easy to ignore as a high school junior or senior is that these letters of recommendations are going to be really important when you go to apply for medical school or occupational therapy school or whatever you're interested in. And by having good relationships with faculty, having faculty that really know you instead of being a number, you're going to have very in-depth letters of recommendation. My letters of recommendations are typically 2 to 3 pages. They're comprehensive, and they come from a place of me really knowing the student, having a significant number of experiences with the student, and being able to talk in a very detailed way about why you are a good candidate for their school. And so there's a definite advantage in terms of the applications and having professors that really know you. We also have a brand new Aspire Center at Carthage, which is basically enhanced career coaching that I'm excited to see in the ways in which this new program is going to strengthen the pre-health fields. But I mean, there's no doubt it's going to strengthen our pre-health advising and support system. We have excellent research to study abroad, to leadership opportunities, to research opportunities. The number of students that do research here, the percentage of students that do research here, significantly higher than at big state institutions. In chemistry, I think effectively every student who wants research gets a research opportunity. I can't say that for some of the other fields just because I don't explicitly know, but I know it's very, very high in all of the fields. Something that many people are not aware of is the average age for starting medical school, not just for Carthage, but nationally, is almost 26 years old. So that's a solid 4 years or so after you would graduate from college. Now, lots of students go straight in. Lots of our students go straight in. But the point is, a lot of people don't go straight to medical school for a whole host of reasons. We are not going to wash our hands of you. I continue to support students who are alumni. I had one student last year who was calling me monthly. We talk on the hour for the phone every single month until he eventually got in because he was wanting to check in, make sure he was doing all the right things, talk about his applications, his interviews. That's great. I'm happy to do that. So I continue to work with alumni, continue to support alumni. Once you're my student, you are always my student. I'm always there to help you. I'm always there to support you in however I can. The last feature I want to mention is Carthage is a liberal arts institution, and that's a huge asset when it comes to getting into medical or any other types of professional health programs. And to kind of illustrate that, I'm going to show you what is produced by the American Association of Medical Colleges, what they call their core competencies. These are the competencies. So this is specifically for allopathic medical school, so MD medical school. However, this really does apply to most of the health professions. This is basically what everyone wants to see in their candidates. And if you look through this list, we do see these couple of science competencies in the bottom right, competencies in living systems and human behavior. But all the rest of the competencies are not explicit to the natural sciences, right? We have interpersonal skills. We want people that are service-oriented, who have social skills, cultural competence, teamwork, oral communication. We want students that have some strong intrapersonal competencies, ethical responsibility, reliability, dependability, resilience, capacity for improvement, as well as critical thinking, quantitative reasoning, scientific inquiry, written communication. This is what a liberal arts education does. It develops these skills, the skill set, which is the type of skill set that's going to help you write personal statements for medical school. It's going to help you write, it's going to help you interview for medical school. And most importantly, it's going to help you succeed in medical school and succeed as a physician. It's going to give you that skill set. I routinely talk to my students about how as a physician, you're not going to be judged by your knowledge of the Krebs cycle. No patient's going to walk out of there and say, wow, they know their glycolysis and Krebs cycle and what, that's just not a conversation that they're going to have. A patient's going to walk out and talk about how excited they are about how well you listened, how well you could communicate and explain concepts to them, right? That's how you're going to judge physicians and how you're going to get judged as a healthcare provider. And so this is why the medical schools are interested in it, and we're going to help you develop this skill set. We're going to help you get there so that not only can you impress an applications committee, but you're going to do well in medical school and become a good physician. So I'm going to talk a little bit because I think that there's probably no better way of kind of explaining what you're going to get at Carthage for PreHealth support. It's gonna illustrate this better than me just telling you a little bit about my philosophy and what I talk to students about. Okay, so first of all, when students come to me, they often ask questions that I try to get them to reframe. Because the first question that's come to me is, how do I get into medical school, or how do I get into pharmacy school? I tend to advise largely the medical students and the dental students. I have other colleagues that specialize in some of the other fields, occupational therapy, physical therapy, physician's assistant, etc. And so if I jump into just talking about medical school and dental school, it's just because that tends to be what I largely, the students that I tend to focus on. But students come to me and say, hey, Dr. B, how do I get into medical school? And I challenge my students and say, okay, maybe that's not the question we should be asking, because that's really not the goal. If we get you into medical school and you fail, that's not a success for any of us. If you get into medical school and pass medical school, but go in and become a physician and hate your job as a physician, or are a lousy physician, again, that's not a win for anybody. So I challenge to think about different questions. First and foremost, do you really want this? Is this a career that will be personally and professionally satisfying? Recent study showed, this was shared to me by one of the admissions deans, or not an admissions dean, but a dean at the medical school at University of Chicago, that 10% of students that graduate medical school, so this is before they've even started working as a physician, 10% of these students already regret their career choice. Well, they've just finished their 4th year of medical school. They're $250,000 of debt from medical school, and they wish they hadn't become a doctor. And now they've got a choice. Do I live with this debt and not work as a doctor? Or do I continue to work as a doctor and pay off this debt even though I'm miserable? That's a bad situation. And I don't want that for my students. I want my students going into medical school knowledgeable about what a career in healthcare looks like. I want them knowing what they're getting themselves into. I want them opting into it, saying, yes, I know exactly what this job looks like, and this is exactly what I want. I challenge students to ask, okay, you want to go into healthcare, but which healthcare profession actually best matches your passions and goals? It's not atypical when I really get down to the nitty gritty and talking to a student about why they want to be, say, a physician. It becomes really clear that they actually might be happier doing something else in the healthcare field. Maybe being a physical therapist or a nurse or a health, getting a master's in uh, public health. A lot of students, they haven't quite analyzed all the different careers in health and realized that it's not an issue of can you get to medical school. It's an issue of is medical school actually what you want? And is there another healthcare career that you would be happier doing? And at the end of the day, again, it's not an issue of can you get into medical school and can you even pass medical school, but are you going to actually become an amazing physician that's going to have a positive impact on your patients in your community? That's where I want to get you. Yes, I want to get you into medical school. That's a necessary step to turning you into an outstanding physician, or getting you into graduate school will make you help the first step to becoming an outstanding physical therapist. But it's not good enough if you don't become a really good healthcare professional. I want to help you build the necessary core to help you do that as well. That's incredibly important to me. So some general advice I give during your time here at Carthage. A lot of students work on just trying to build their resumes. I want 17 different experiences, to put on my resume because that will really impress people. It tends to not. I spend a lot of time. It's actually, I really appreciate of Carthage. They've sent me every year I've been here. This is my 6th year at Carthage. They've sent me every year to a national or regional conference for PreHealth advisors where I've gotten to meet deans of admissions and other folks involved in the application processes at medical schools, at dental schools, at PT schools, et cetera. And I mean, I've had the chance to actually review actual applications with deans of admissions, and I can see what they're going through and what they're paying attention to. And so it's a great opportunity. They're not impressed by lots and lots of experiences that are relatively shallow. They want fewer experiences that have a real meaningful experience, an experience that you can reflect on, that you learned from, that transformed you. And things that you can talk about in an interview, in a personal statement, and not just talk about, oh, I did this, 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 and this, but wow, look at how this changed my perspective on the world, how this changed my perspective about how to treat people, how to handle differences in culture. They want that type of transformation, that learning experience, that growth, that a meaningful experience will give you, but a whole bunch of smaller experiences likely won't. You definitely need to take advantage of your opportunities to build strong relationships with professors here at Carthage. You need to ask questions. You need to go to office hours. You need to talk to your professors. That's what's going to build the strongest letters of recommendations. That's where you're going to get the best mentoring and advice. That's where you're going to take advantage of what Carthage really has to offer. So you don't want to be a fly on the wall here. You want to be proactive, talk with your faculty, get to know them. A lot of students stress out about what major to pick and trying to think about what's the tactical best choice, what's going to make me look the best. And most students assume they should major in biology or neuroscience or chemistry. And those are the most common majors. But if you look at acceptance rates into health professional schools across majors, it doesn't make one difference. There's pros and cons with both. Majoring in the natural sciences means you tend to have more overlap between the courses you need and your major, and courses you need for prerequisites for the graduate program and your major. But it also, you don't stand out quite as much. You maybe are not as well-rounded as someone. The student that I've had that's gotten into the most schools in my 6 years here at Carthage was an English major. She got into 6 schools and is phenomenal. And so you can major in whatever you want to major in. They don't care about second majors. They're not going to be impressed by a double major. They're not going to be impressed by minors. It's okay to double major. It's okay to minor, but don't do it because you think you're going to impress someone on an admissions committee. Major in something you love. Major in something you're passionate in. That's where you're going to perform the best. That's where you're going to get the letters of recommendations. If you major outside of the sciences, what that means is it's going to be more important that you work closely with me so that we make sure you get all the courses that you need to be successful to get into medical school. But it's great. Major in what you're interested in. The next point kind of goes in line with the second point in that you should be thinking about letters of recommendation early, which is all about building those relationships with your professors. It's really unfortunate when students get into their third year, and this doesn't happen very often at Carthage, but every now and then, where a student comes and talks to me, it's like, I don't really have any close relationships with faculty. Don't let that be you. Work with faculty early on. Make sure that you have those relationships. Like I said, it doesn't happen very often at Carthage, but it's something you want to keep an eye on. Whereas talking with like some of my cousins and other family members that have gone, friends that have gone to big state colleges, they often have no idea of anybody to ask for letters because I didn't until I think my fourth year. I didn't really know any faculty myself. But be thinking about that, build those relationships, be considering this. You are likely, regardless of how successful you've been at high school, moving into college, you're likely going to have to change how you study. It's a bit of a different world in terms of expectations, and some of the techniques that you've used to be successful in high school are probably going to have to be modified going into college. So I'm going to encourage you to be very open-minded when you come to college, regardless if it's Carthage or somewhere else. When you go to college, be very open-minded about how you study, because you may have to make some modifications to it, okay? Do not get in trouble. Don't end up with citations, plagiarism, ethical issues, because the medical schools, they're going to call up the dean of students of whatever school you're going into, and they're going to ask, has this person gotten in any trouble? And if the answer is yes, they're going to go right past you, because these schools get thousands of applications for 100 spots. They're not going to take a risk. So even first year, do not get in trouble. Be that ideal student that keeps their nose clean. Okay. And the last point that's really important: keep an open mind. If you reached out to me at 18 and told me that I would be a professor at a small liberal arts college in Wisconsin, a professor of chemistry, I mean, there's absolutely no way I would have believed you. Okay. I hated chemistry as a high school student. I didn't actually like chemistry until my second year, and they made me take organic chemistry. I was a ecology student, and that's what I was going to do. And I took organic chemistry. I loved it. I kind of denied that I was one of those weird people that liked it, and kind of finally sucked it up in my fourth year and decided to switch to chemistry. Not the easiest path to go through, but I didn't expect to like it. I didn't expect to be teaching at a small liberal art college. I didn't know what a small liberal art college was. And as a Californian, I mean, I wasn't going to move to the Midwest. Like, that was not something I saw in my life. And I'm really happy I'm here. This is where I want to be. So my life did not end up the way I expected it, but I couldn't have imagined a better result. I'm doing what I love. I'm really happy doing this. And that's not a pitch to do what I'm doing, but the point is, my true passion, my true vocation in life was not clear to me at 18. And so it's great that you want to go to medical school or PT school or occupational therapy school or whatever you're thinking about at the moment. That's fantastic. We're going to work our tail off to support you and help you be successful. But we're also going to push you to consider the possibility that there may be something out there that you would rather do. And we're going to push you to experience possibilities and keep an open mind, because I don't want you being closed off to a better path for you. And so that's not saying don't do this other thing that you have your heart set on, but just keep an open mind about what this could look like. So I'm really proud. I mean, this is just a snapshot of where some of our students have gone, but I'm really proud of the success of our students across the board. We've had another good year this year. I don't have all the results in, but we have students going to medical school at University of Illinois, Chicago, Madison, Des Moines, Rocky Vista, and we've had another very solid year. we're very close to being able to start publishing acceptance rates into medical school. If you look at numbers from students that applied for their first time between the years of 2016 and 2019, 88% of our students have gotten accepted into medical school. Of those students have gotten into medical school, I'm actually expecting to be 91 in the next month, but we'll see. That's hinging on one student's results here, but I'm super proud of where our students go. They're doing great things. I'm hearing from them from medical school, and they're crushing it. Most of them are in the top of their classes at medical school, and they're doing fantastic work. And I just could not be more proud of their success. They're doing amazing things, and it's so much fun to get to be a small part of that and get to work with them and help them find the success. So that's what I've got for you today. I hope I've answered some of your questions, but I'm happy to continue to talk with you and answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Dr. Brown-Holland. That was excellent. We have had a couple questions come in. One of the questions that came in was, on the average in your pre-health fields, what is the average class size?
It's going to depend wildly on what major or what course you're taking. So I would say, like in Gen Chem, we're typically around 25 students. Organic, we're typically around 30. The biology courses are typically limited to 24, I believe. Neuroscience is typically smaller because you don't tend to take any courses in neuroscience until upper division. So I don't think they're even up at 24. I think all the math courses are capped around in the mid-20s. So almost everything is going to be in the lower levels is going to be 20 to 30, and the upper levels is often lower than 20 even.
Fantastic. Lots of personal attention then.
Absolutely. Actually, my Organic 2 course this year, it's only 17 students.
Terrific. Another question that came in was, can I take classes in my major first year, or do I need to take mostly general education courses?
Oh, no, we want you taking major courses in the first year. So depends on your interest. Like say you came in pre-med, we would have you taking the first semester of chemistry, the first semester of biology, and then Western Heritage, and then a fourth course. So you'd be jumping right into the science courses, as well as if you were not in chemistry, bio, neuroscience, that fourth course would definitely then be in your major, your interest of major.
Terrific. There's another question here. How many professors at Carthage have experience in the medical field?
In the actual medical field, well, we have a number in the nursing program, certainly, but those of us in the natural sciences are not medical professionals. So I'm a fake doctor. Okay, so I got my PhD, not my MD. So we're all our field is our specific major field. So I'm a doctor in chemistry. And so that I got my experience through research in chemistry and developing new processes there. Now, with that being said, I worked at a medical school. I did my postdoctoral fellowship doing research at a medical school. And we have many faculty here who did work at medical schools and have contacts in that way. But none of us are physicians and have careers in healthcare outside of our nursing and athletic training faculty.
All right, thank you. Folks, you can keep the questions coming in. Just type on the question and answer line there, or you can use the chat line. Dr. Brown-Holland, could you also touch on any JTerm experiences for students interested in healthcare?
Oh, absolutely. We have a number of courses that are available. Courses that are on campus, certainly. We have an ethics and science course that's great. We have a course in income inequities and poverty that I think is a great course for students that are interested in health sciences. We have a couple of courses that nursing offers, often some unique courses that some of our students are able to take. But we also have some great experiences in Nicaragua. We have a new course in India looking at healthcare systems out there. It tends to rotate every year, although the Nicaragua one's always available, where students will go and work in a healthcare clinic in Nicaragua. But there's always a couple of really neat options for students that specifically address healthcare.
Terrific. Yeah, I know. I know several students that have been on that Nicaragua experience and just rave about how awesome that is. So it's another great experience for students also to learn whether or not they really want to be in the medical field, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Another question that came up here. Do you have any advice for extracurricular experiences high school students should engage in now to help for a medical career down the road?
So I guess there's two ways of viewing that question. The first way you could think of is much more in the tactical. What can I do good? What can I do now that will help me look good? And I would say there's probably nothing, because they're not going to by and large look at your high school record. So there's nothing that students do in their high school that is recommended to be put on a resume for medical school or PT school or whatever. However, things that help you learn about yourself, things that help you learn about your passions, about your leadership style, about your ability to work in a team and to communicate with each other. Any of these things is going to help you develop and start getting you on the right path. And so I think it's less important what do you do, but it's more important about how do you do it. Are you truly engaged in the process? Are you reflecting? Keep a journal. Think about your experiences and how you could do things differently and grow from the experiences that you have. So it's much less important what you do, and it's much more important how you do it. Do you do it? Do you dive in, immerse yourself into it, reflect, grow from it? That's much more important than what exactly is it that you're doing. Now, a number of students sometimes can get some really great healthcare experience as a high school student. So this is less extracurricular activities, but sometimes students will go and they'll get trained to work as a certified nurse assistant, or as an EMT, or as an aide for special ed, or something along those lines. And these are great experiences and can give you a leg up when it comes time to look for experiential opportunities in college, to start demonstrating that you have the healthcare experience and passion to get into a health professional program.
Terrific. The next question is, do you have any relationships with healthcare for students to gain experience?
We are working on those. We don't really have anything formal at the moment, but that is something that Aspire is working heavily on, and actually have a meeting next week to talk to folks about this. So we're hoping to start unveiling things relatively soon. Now, it is a bit of a double-edged sword having these established relationships, and something that I'm going to have to be warning students about when we start developing them is, while it's great experience, medical schools and other healthcare professional schools, they want to see initiative. They want to see that you have the initiative to go out and search for these opportunities and to seek these opportunities. And so it's great to have kind of that launching off ground, that launching off pad, but we also want students to demonstrate some initiative and some ability to go out and find some of these opportunities themselves. And I do work with students to help them figure out how to do that and how to approach people and how to find people. But in terms of formalized programs where we can just immediately, you can sign up and we can plug you straight in, we're pretty limited at the moment.
Could you also highlight, like in the summer, I know students do internships around the country at different facilities. Do you have examples of where some of your pre-health students have interned?
Sure. So yeah, a lot of our students sometimes are able to find often research-focused experiences at medical schools. Well, they'll get some shadowing experience, they'll get some research experience. We've had students go to Medical College of Wisconsin, we've had students go to Mayo, we had someone to go to Johns Hopkins last year. And so what they tend to do is they end up in a research group, they do some research, but they also get the opportunity to shadow physicians and talk to folks in the medical school and get some of these experiences in that way as well. They all come back so incredibly happy for those experiences. They're fantastic experiences.
Right, right. Yeah, I've gotten to meet a few of those students, and they come back just very excited about their future and the experiences that they've had. I have a student asking, and I'm not sure if you'll have the answer to this because I know you are focused on medical and dental, but do you know how many students are in the pre-veterinarian program?
So the pre-vet's much smaller. There's no doubt. We tend to have about 1 to 2 students a year go to vet school, and we don't have that many more a year that are interested in vet school. I can't think of anyone who's applied and not gotten in, but I can't promise that. I'd have to go back and look at the numbers. I don't have them off the top of my head, but it is relatively small. We probably have roughly on the order of 10 students interested in vet sciences, although we've got a great faculty member, Deborah Tobiasen in biology, who actually was accepted to vet school and kind of decided at the last minute not to go and get her PhD instead. So she knows her stuff. Like, she's really good and knows her stuff, and she's a great asset.
Yeah, absolutely. I did want to mention too, Dr. Brownholland mentioned the Aspire program earlier. And just to kind of give you an overview of what Aspire is, that is our career development program at Carthage. We start that freshman year with all of our students, which is unique. So this program is actually getting national attention for what career development should look like in America right now. Unfortunately, most universities, students don't even go into the Career Center until senior year, if even ever. And at Carthage, it's part of the curriculum. It's embedded right in their freshman year with you. So you've got a lot of help. You've got, your pre-health advisor working with you. You've got a career coach in that Aspire program, and they work closely with the academic advisors. Freshman year, you also have a freshman success advisor who helps you register for courses. They help you transition from high school to college. So there's just so much personal attention and so much help at Carthage. You don't have to really try to figure things out alone. You just have to be willing to talk to people, which is pretty awesome. So any other questions that people have? We can take a few more if you have them there. I guess, do you have any, Dr. Brownholland, do you have advice for incoming freshmen? Like, what would be the biggest piece of advice you would give somebody coming in to Carthage?
Well, I think the biggest piece of advice is what I've already shared, and that you need to get to know your faculty and you need to utilize your resources. So your faculty is top of the resource list. Like, you should come to us, talk to us, ask us questions, get to know us. Don't be intimidated by us. I think it was actually one of my biggest surprises of starting teaching is that students were intimidated by me and cared what I thought about them. It's like, I'm just a regular person here. Actually, I can get out of my screen, can't I? I'm just a regular person here. Like, why would anyone feel intimidated coming to me? And that was a big adjustment for me, realizing that people would be intimidated to come to me. But don't be. We're here because we care about students. We would not be at a college like Carthage if we were not focused and truly enjoyed spending our time and working with undergraduate students. That's my passion. That's what I love doing. That's what all my colleagues love doing. And so you should come to us. You should talk to us. You should use the tutoring services that are available and the supplemental instructors that are available. Nobody does anything ambitious without help. Don't let pride get in your way of seeking assistance. Everybody needs assistance. You'll notice, one of those core competencies from the AAMC was resilience. The reason why medical schools care about that is everybody fails at some point. Everybody. I don't know any one of my colleagues who went and got a PhD. I don't know any of the doctors that I've worked with in this position that has not at some point felt that they are in way over their head and they can't do this. And they should just give up. Everyone feels it at some point. don't think you're alone if you start feeling that way. You're not. It's part of the process. If you push yourself to do great things, you're going to feel that way at some point. Okay, that's part of pushing yourself to do great things, is you're hitting that limit of where you're at, and you've got to keep pushing against it. Well, you need help to do that. And there's nothing wrong or embarrassing about having to get help and support from your faculty, from the tutors, from your friends. Um, the students that succeed are the ones that use their resources, the ones that get help, the ones that ask for it. So don't let pride get in the way of getting the help and the support you need to be successful, the help and support that you deserve to be successful, right? You come to a place like Carthage, that's what you're paying for. You're paying to get help from me. You're paying for the tutors. You're paying to have that type of relationship, that you're able to get this type of support. Get what you paid for. Get what you deserve. That's what you're here for.
I love that. And it's so true. I work with a fair number of students who transfer from other colleges. Many are coming from bigger schools. And that's one of the things that I hear after they've started at Carthage that blows their mind is they didn't have support at their previous college. They didn't usually even know what a professor looked like because TAs were teaching the courses. And here they just cannot get over how accessible professors are. And I always tell students that I work with, when you know what your hopes and dreams are, when you need help, go talk to your professors, make sure they know, because every student defines success differently. And professors, there's so many examples where professors have helped students get where they want to go. I've had 3 children of my own at Carthage in the past, and that's been true for them as well. Their professors have been phenomenal through the process, and it's not because I work there. It's just a big advantage to Carthage. And I think everybody, I hope one of the things you're taking away is you can see the passion in Dr. Brown Holland for what he does at Carthage and for his students. And that's a huge advantage for our students, to get you where you want to go in the future. And it's honestly one of the reasons that Carthage is such a great place.
I mean, let me tell you about one of the most inspirational stories I've experienced. Student who, in his first semester, actually had a below a 2.0, was close to failing out of the college. Came to me talking about this isn't what I want. I want to succeed. I want to be a dentist. I want to figure this out. And we brought in some help from academic support. We worked with him, helped him develop some stronger study skills, helped him figure out what was going wrong, how to succeed. He had a better semester, spring of his freshman year. Then came into organic chemistry in my class, which, people get so scared of organic chemistry, but it's doable. Worked his tail off. And he has had severe learning differences. Worked his tail off. He was in my office, I think, 2 hours a week, getting help, talking to chemistry with me, got A's in both my courses. His GPA went up and up. His last 4 semesters had 4.0s, and he just graduated from dental school. I mean, it's so cool. It's so awesome. Here's a kid who struggled, he persevered, he changed everything. He figured out where his commitments were. He worked with us. He allowed us to coach him and help him. He completely changed everything, and he's doing exactly what he wants to be doing.
That is so awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
It just goes to show there is so much personal attention, and you don't have to get lost in a system of a larger school. And one of the other big advantages here at Carthage is, like Dr. Brown Holland alluded to earlier, you don't have to take all general courses freshman year at Carthage. We want you to take courses in your field of study or the areas that you're thinking about studying. It helps you graduate in 4 years. It also makes it a lot more interesting to make sure that you're doing what you want to be doing. So, we are experiential learning. We want you to have research. I know I've had so many parents tell me that their students here get more research experience than if they've had older children at other colleges.
Oh, yeah.
So that's huge. That's a big advantage. I appreciate. I think most people learn better by doing. I know I do. If you put me in a large lecture hall with 300 people, I'm going to be thinking about something else in 10 minutes. But you know, if I can learn by doing, I'm going to learn pretty quickly. I think most human beings are the same way. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, I routinely have 4, 5, 6 students in my research group. We're working on developing organic syntheses in water to make them more environmentally sustainable. My students go to the big, well, not this year because I got canceled, but every other year we go to the big chemistry national meeting where 15,000 chemists converge in one city, and they get to present their work. They get to go listen to Nobel laureates speak. I mean, it's an amazing experience. They have so much fun.
Terrific, terrific. So I don't see any more questions coming in. I will say we can't wait for students to be able to come back to campus and tour. And I mean, the pictures online are terrific, but they don't do the campus justice being right there at Lake Michigan. It is a beautiful place to spend 4 years. I kind of laugh because often I hear current students say, hey, when else in my lifetime am I going to be able to afford lakefront property? So it's a nice place to be. And we do hope you will come and visit us if you haven't already been there. You know, if you're wondering about application process and you're a junior in high school right now, please know you can apply to Carthage as soon as your junior year is completed. You'll have your transcript sent to us, and you can do the application right on our website as well. So we will be reaching out to you in the coming days. I'm one of the admission and financial aid directors. Everybody on this call, you'll have a admission and financial aid director of your own, kind of based on the geography of where you live. And that's another nice thing about Carthage is at most colleges you have an admissions representative, but during financial aid season they transfer you to the financial aid office because most admissions people don't work with financial aid. Here we do everything. We're a single point of contact. Use us as a resource even if you have questions not related to Carthage, but it's about the college process. We know it can be overwhelming for many families. Are doing it for the first time, so we've seen a lot. We can help a lot, and we're always happy to help out. We will help you with scholarships. We will help you with financial aid and anything else that arises as well. So if you're a senior on the call and you've been admitted already, congratulations. If you haven't applied yet, you can still apply. There's still time to do that as well. So just let us know what you need. Everybody's here to help, and you can find our contact information right on the website. Dr. Brown Hollins is on there. Mine is on there under the admission screen. Just don't laugh at my picture. It's not a very good picture. Nobody looks it up for my picture, though.
Yeah, please, if you have any questions that, it's so common that we get out at a meeting and it's like, oh, why didn't I ask that? Just reach out. Happy to answer.
Right. So thank you again. I hope everybody's staying safe and healthy at this time. We look forward to hopefully seeing you on campus soon, and keep in touch. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Everyone be safe.
Thank you.